Welcome to another episode of Sports After Dark with David and Kayla. We have been gone for a minute. So much has happened. So many things in the sports world have gone on. Obviously, so much in the news world has gone on. So we have been both busy doing different things. So we do apologize for the time we took it off. We had some divisional stuff we wanted to get out of the way. And I think there's a way we can still do it. I mean, we'll still try to at the start of the season, even though some games have started. But we're going to have to pull that back to a later date. So just keep on the lookout for that. But how are you doing today, Kate? What's going on with you?
I'm very happy to not have to work today.
I know they've been you've been working like a couple weekends now, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just after this week,
Yeah.
I worked 4 days, but it feels like I worked 8 or 10.
Jeez, yeah.
I haven't felt this drained. Like, I even sent my family group chat a text on Thursday because we all like to watch at least primetime games and message each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if you guys are going to do that this week, which I know they were, I was like, please start a new group message without me because I am so swamped in work that I cannot have my phone blowing up.
No, totally relatable. I did Chinese last night with my girlfriend, and literally, so she's like, "What's wrong with you? You seem like your energy levels." I'm like, "I am so tired."
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I think summer has taken a quiet departure. I think we are slow, like we're either in fall or this is fall right now. But I'm waking up and it's like 51 degrees and it feels like brisk outside, and so my body's like, huh? Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
But it's 80 degrees, 90 degrees on this. My body kind of doesn't know what to do right now. I know I have an appointment to get my flu shot soon, so I'm going to go do that because my immune system is going to be tough for this season. Because I told my girlfriend, I'm like, I feel like it's going to be very cold this winter. Like I don't feel like we're going to get snow, but I feel like it's going to be cold. It's going to be kind of one of those bitter winters this year.
Yeah, I think my tough skin of living in North Dakota has worn off because I'm affected by temperatures near freezing again. They would be so disappointed in me.
you're like it's 20 degrees. Oh no, 3 jackets, 4 jackets. Give me like 3 pairs of gloves. I need to be layered.
Yep, give me my heated blanket, my space heater, everything. And then I would be so happy if it reached freezing in North Dakota. And yeah. It's gone.
It's too bad like not kids anymore. It's like, they don't even go to school when it's like 12 degrees. Like, oh no, the roads are icy. Look at that ice over there. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go to school.
Yeah, no,
I guess it stinks now for parents, right?
I would see, no lie, from my newspaper office, would see kids when it's below 0 with their little backpacks walking to school. And I'm like, how do you people do this?
Oh my God. Yeah. And I see the stories. Like I have cousins who live in Michigan and Detroit, and they're like, what, -6 degrees? That's normal. We walk to school in that. We got a foot of snow. Sure, you just shovel the sidewalk and you just walk. I'm like, you guys are different up there.
Yeah.
They go to school, like their 2-hour delays are like, oh, it's 3 feet of snow. Yeah, we're gonna need like 2 hours for the for the snow plows and the dump trucks to dump all the snow in the parking lot. We're going to school. Just, it'll be at 10 o'clock, but you're still going to school. I'm like, y'all are crazy. Down here, they're just like, nah.
Look, yeah, we'd be out for 3 days.
If it was 3 feet, they'd be like, close the schools down for 3 months. We're going to virtual learning.
True. Like, it would, now that we have virtual learning, I didn't even think about that. Like,
yep.
just let everybody stay in their pajamas and learn about the presidents or something in their pajamas. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, we're gonna get into today's show, and obviously I think it's appropriate given everything that's kind of going on this week. It's no secret. I know me and Kayla talked off air about it, but obviously, we've been watching the Charlie Kirk situation. It's really sad. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't completely always agree with some of his standpoints, but we should always seek peace. We should always make sure that we take a step back from everything that's kind of going on. And so, I think it was appropriate to kind of bring back the wellness check because I've been kind of drained from that news. I've also gone through seasonal sickness on Monday. I had a lot going on in my personal life. And Kayla, I know you talked about you got a lot of busy stuff kind of going on in your life. So I think this segment was very important. But I think one of the highlight spots for me this week was just like, well, not even this week. It was a couple weeks ago. I recently turned 31, y'all. I am 31 years old. It wasn't really much of a birthday for me. Well, it was. Okay. So the day of my actual birthday is like every year, it's like the 1st of September. It's sucked since I turned 18 because it's like got my first apartment. And I was like, oh, September 1st. Oh, your rent's due, but happy birthday. You're only out 800 to like 1,200. Now it's like 14, 15. But hey, I have a place to live. But what I will say is, so I went up to New York to go to the U.S. Open. That was really fun. I had a chance to go see Coco Gauff take on. Not familiar with this tennis player. She's from Italy. Apparently, they've played 2 other times, and the name slips me. But she killed her, like not, but
Poor choice of words here, David.
Yeah, bad. She dominated her on the court. Like it was 2 sets. She got both of them. I think the first set was pretty competitive. It was 6-3. She was up 4-0 and 4-love, and then her opponent battled back and made it a respectable 4-3, and then she kind of closed the door late. Let me tell you, I think going to a tennis match like the U.S. Open is like one of those you should have on your list type of things. And when you get there, make sure you get a honeydew. Okay. If you don't know what that is, a honeydew is pretty much like, I think it's like vodka, it's lemonade, and I think it's like a spritz of like raspberry, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like kind of a raspberry
puree.
Yeah, something like that. So, and then they give you kind of a little bit of ginger to go with that. And then you get like, they pretty much have these melons in the back. They peel them and they cool them. And then they put them on as like olives pretty much. So it's like it looks like a tennis ball pretty much. It was the best drink ever. It was greatly made. And I said to myself, I'm glad I didn't have 2 or 3 of these because I would have been drunk. And tennis is not one of those sports where you want to go drunk because it's not like you can be a drunk person while they're playing tennis. They want you to be quiet. You can cheer, during a match point or when somebody scores. But typically, like during a set, they want you to be quiet so the tennis players can concentrate on, their serve and make sure they're not serving anything out of bounds. So it's a whole thing. But that was a great experience. We also got a chance to see Tay Townsend. She played in doubles. Obviously, you know who Tay Townsend is. She had like a little viral moment after one of her matches in singles where basically, I guess one of her opponent Kearns got upset about the loss and they're going back and forth. And so, ever since then, she's kind of grown in stock. Everybody's like onto her matches. So we were surprised because my girlfriend is obviously a big Tay Townsend fan. And so we went to doubles and literally it's played on the smaller courts. So, it's kind of like, your soccer stadium, high school soccer stadium. It can probably seat maybe 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, my girlfriend's like, let's get there early. I'm like, you're crazy. It's just, it's Tay Townsend. She might get like 300, 400 people, but everybody's interested in like the bigger names that are playing. Like, they had Naomi. She was playing, pretty much earlier in the day. So I'm like, everybody's probably in the bigger arena. When I came, when I tell you that place filled up, it was like 1,500 people, and there was standing room for doubles, and it was like the quarterfinals of that. Wow. So she won. She's really talented, and I really like her. I like how she plays. She's like really dope. She shook our hands afterwards. She was really friendly. Oh, wow. So my girlfriend wanted, she was trying to rush to get a tennis ball we caught in an earlier game for her to sign, but she had moved on by that point. But we were able to kind of get a photo, like kind of in passing, like, of her. So it's pretty cool. So that was the highlight of not only my birthday, but obviously my girlfriend, because that's her favorite tennis player now. But we had so much fun. We took the train, we took the Amtrak. So, that was a fun experience. It took us like 4 hours, and it went right under Madison Square Garden, and we just took the we just took the train to the stadium, and I think it's in Brooklyn. No, it's in the Bronx. It's out in the Bronx because it's by Met Stadium and out that way. So it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. From as for my birthday, my girlfriend got me. She knows like I'm a big health guy, so she got me the a new watch to keep up my
Hey.
fitness and my steps. She wants me to live a very long, well, as long as God would have me to be here, right? And then she got me some new AirPods. So I got those. That's why I have these the big chunky ones on here today. So I definitely need it. My girl's like, because I complained. I was like, literally like, oh, my AirPods don't work anymore. So it's just small stuff like that that makes her so great. She always pays attention to the details. And then obviously I got plastered with a lot of happy birthday texts. My parents sent me a birthday card that was really nice. And I just really enjoyed it. I guess when you get older, like it hits. And I guess ever since I've been 31, so the last couple of weeks, everybody's been like, yeah, man, what's your advice on this, man? Are you afraid to like, I'm afraid to turn 30. I'm like, y'all, it's not that bad. It's not. And I get it. I was the 28, 29-year-old, like, oh my God, 30's coming up. I'm going to instantly get arthritis. I'm not going to be able to walk anymore. I'm going to need a walker. I'm going to get all type of sicknesses. I'm not going to be able to move the same. I'm like, literally, if you take care of your body, if you go to doctor's appointments and, you just, obviously I'm not in anybody's health life. So I don't know where you are in your journey, but just make sure that, you're careful about what you eat and when you get older, because I can't chow down the same way anymore because the weight kind of hits a little different now. Like it's crazy. It's like I'll eat like trashy for a day and I'm like, I've gained 2 pounds, 3 pounds. So that's weird. That's so weird. But outside of that, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I'm still athletic, guys. I still can go to the gym. I did do leg day yesterday, and I'm hurt, so I probably do need a wheelchair today to get around because my legs are like ah. But outside of that, man, it's so cool to kind of just, be amongst people I love. I think I have a lot of friends who have September birthdays, so we have a boat trip next Friday on the Potomac. So we're doing a birthday boat celebration kind of for all of us because it was like, okay, do we just want to have 3-4 different dinners or just do a big dinner together to celebrate? So yeah, we're gonna do that next Friday. So it's been fun. It really has been. So yeah, I can't complain. I have another topic to get into, but I want to get into your wellness check. What's going on with you this week?
Yeah, so obviously the main thing is just the Charlie Kirk assassination. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you agree with everything he says, disagree with everything he says, find yourself somewhere in the middle. We're all Americans, unless you're watching overseas, but still. And an American was assassinated. And that should tell you everything that you need to know. It's not left versus right. It's good versus evil. It's humane versus inhumane. And it showed me who I need to not associate with anymore. And it shows me the mental health epidemic that I didn't realize was so big in this country. I can't fathom cheering for somebody's death. That is just something that doesn't compute in my head. So I think seeing that, working in news, you have to have social media up. You have to be connected to so many different things. And that's part of the reason why I'm drained. I had people ask me how I am. And for the first time, seriously, I was like, you know what? I'm not okay. And that's, I would always be like, oh, I'm good. I'm fine. If I was struggling with something, but no, I'm not okay. I think it's going to take a while. I don't think, I'll ever be able to. It'll fade, sure, but it won't. It's not something that you just get over. And I think especially because there were so many videos circulating of showing him be assassinated, that's a whole other level. Because thankfully, whenever you hear about people being killed in war or even these school shootings that people are bringing up, there's not a video of these children being shot. There's not anything overseas that we see video of. And just like, this is something that I feel like the mind is not wired for, is not able to process. So that's going to take a lot of work individually for all of us to figure out how to begin processing a way to get these horrible images away.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm struggling with. And then just seeing people that like I cared about celebrate it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to associate with them anymore. So I think that part just makes me sad because it's like, you know, you were a part of my life in some way. Now I don't want to have you in my life at all.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other level, you know, and then just how much we had to do at work to cover it. Doesn't matter that it's in Utah and I'm in Maryland. Like on Wednesday, we did a local political violence angle, and we did, you know, just the nuts and bolts and coverage. And so, like, even planning that, you have to get into the nitty gritty. You have to give your reporters and your anchors, you know, a guideline to follow. And it's having to do that all on the fly was not something I hope to ever do again.
No, for sure. And let me, like I said earlier, like, I did not, I'm not going to say and pretend like I did not agree with everything Charlie Kirk stood for, but I did respect the man that he was, right? I think, you know, um, what I think what's heartbreaking for me is not just people celebrating it, but he's my age. He's 31. He was 31 when his life was cut down by this guy, who's in custody now. Um, but I think what's hurtful, we have to remember that the man leaves children. He has a wife at home, and prayers to her and what she has to go through moving forward. But I just think the rhetoric. I mean, I know you deal with the news. I'm in DC, and also, I'm right in the thick of it. So I'm not, it doesn't matter if it's not DC. If it happens anywhere, I have to cover it. And I think the most disheartening thing for me was just like the rhetoric of like, oh, the left did this, and you know, I think there was a lawmaker, I think Nancy or something. I'm not sure what rep she is, and there's so many of them to keep track of. But she was interviewed, and she said that the left owns this. And the reporter asked, "Well, does the right own what's going on in Minnesota?" I'm like, I sit back as a human. I step outside of the land of being a reporter. I say, is this what it has become, right? Where President Trump goes and says, the radical left, they're crazy. I'm like, this is not the rhetoric, guys. The messaging of this situation. This should be a wake up call for us all, because this has been a growing, more trendy thing that's been going on for like the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, we can go back to Nancy Pelosi when her husband was attacked in her home. This is a thing of like, we have to be mindful of, words have so much power, and how we react to things have so much power. And I think everybody is very emotional about this, whether you like this man or whether you celebrate this man. And I think we have to be very wary of what we say and how we say it, because though we may, like you said, I think it was crazy that this was even on Twitter for as long as it was, right? I remember seeing the video, and I'm sitting here like, this is AI. They wouldn't allow this to be on the web. But this is the time we live in where there isn't regulation on social media. So somebody's child who was 10, 12 years old, maybe 8, 7 years old, they're seeing this.
Yeah.
They're also seeing the videos on both sides of people laughing about it and people blaming, trying to politicize this. And you got to remember, our people are watching us. They're watching us. No matter how old or young they are, they're watching what we do. They're watching how we respond to things. And we have the opportunity here to teach the next generation that, hey, there is a figure that died that's beloved, but how we choose to move forward, especially going forward, whether it's hate or love or whatever, is being watched, and people are really taking note of it, because there's more access right now with social media and everything that we see on a day-to-day basis. And I just want people to just, I think we need to really get back to understanding, peace, and respect. And we've lost that over time. We've lost ourselves over time with that on both sides. And it's just really a shame, because, debate is one of those things where, me and Kayla, we can debate about something, but there is still a respect of like her opinion and where she comes from is her belief. And
Right.
I'm okay with that, and I think there's something to learn from that as well.
Mhm.
this Republican Democrat thing. There are things I agree with some Republicans about. There's things I agree with some Democrats about, but I think we can learn from each other as well. I think the learning piece is what's missing. We're not always 100% right with ideology, but we have the opportunity to just sit back, take a step back, look at the situation, and learn from each other, and maybe say, hey, I see where you're coming from with this. Maybe we can meet in the middle for the betterment of everything going forward. And I just really hope that that's an attitude that goes forward. I know this was really hard for not just you, but also just just seeing just what I've seen this week. It's just not natural. And yeah, to your point, I'm not gonna pretend like this is normal. And I hope anybody out there who's watching us doesn't pretend like this should be normalized. Oh, this is a shooting that happened every day. No. And just to wrap up, because I don't want to hog the floor too much. This is really tough, but I also want to say as well, my condolences to the families in Denver as well. There was also a mass shooting that happened at an elementary school, and that's guys, it's becoming way too common, and that's scary to think about. I'm thinking about starting a family one day, and I can only think I think about my nieces who are in high school and middle school. And the fact they can't go to school and learn without another child who's their age or somebody, who makes a poor choice coming into school and opening fire on children, that's really nerve wracking. But that did happen yesterday along with the Charlie Kirk news. So my prayers and thoughts over everybody who, dealing with violence right now in this country. It's a problem, both with to your point, the mental health aspect of it, as well as just different gun reforms that we're going to have to eventually sit down and have a conversation about. And it's not taking people's guns away or anything like that, but it's just like, if you have mental illness or if you have signs of things that you're doing online that are far abnormal, those things need to kind of be looked at. And that's for the lawmakers to figure out. But I just really hope that this period can be about healing and really just like everybody taking a step back.
Yeah, well said. Only two things to add real quick. As far as gun reform, this happened in a gun-free zone.
Yeah.
So people who think that this is all about guns, need to take a look in the mirror and understand that criminals and people who want to do acts like this will get access to weapons. And at the end of the day, everybody should want the people in those situations that are not the subject of, the shooter to be able to defend themselves. So I need everybody who's saying that this is a gun problem to check themselves. That's all I'll say on that. But
yeah, for sure.
It was disheartening that I felt like for the first time I could not remember 9/11 the way that it should be.
My God, yeah, that's a good point.
Because 9/11 24 years ago, we were attacked from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And 9/11 this year, we are wondering how we are attacked from the inside.
Yeah. Ooh,
that angers me. And I think it's going to take a little while. I held myself and I felt guilty for not being able to remember 9/11 the way that I have every other year of my life because of all the stuff that was going on with Charlie Kirk and the mass shooting. I don't even feel like I know a lot about the mass shooting because of how much I was dealing with the Charlie Kirk incident. And yeah, it just makes me sad. So
most definitely.
On that note, I think we should talk about sports.
Yeah.